Hey guys, it's Winterwolf and welcome back to another speed build for today. We are doing a sort of contrasting build. It's called the Potter's Stark Living Space or something. I don't know what it's called. It's something Potter's Stark because this was built in Willow Creek and the lot was already named Potter's Display, and so I just added the word Stark because this house is essentially a bunch of black accented walls or black and accented counters, and this was because I was searching up photos for interior design because I don't know if you've noticed, but I've started doing room builds, and room builds are super fun to do just because you get to put so much detail in the room, and also it's like no voiceover, so I feel like it targets another part of my audience that doesn't like hearing me speak and jabber and fumble over all my words. So I started doing those, and I also started doing those things where it's like you can make this custom desk or look at this built-in desk. So that's why I was looking at some inspo pictures and I came across a bunch of houses that had sort of black as an accent color, and I was like, you know what, I really like that idea, so I'm gonna try making it in Sims. And I saw so many pictures that I was like, forget it, I can't just do a one room, I should just do a whole house that's like black accented colors. I do want to apologize in advance. This was supposed to be a limited pack build, and then towards the end I was sort of like, never mind, I'm just going to use whatever I want because I hate furnishing kitchens with limited packs because I just feel like we don't have that much kitchen clutter in the game. So I was like, I really wanted to use several different packs that gave me more kitchen clutter. So a lot of the stuff packs and game packs and stuff that were used were probably because of the kitchen. Sorry. That being said, I feel like it's actually better to use more packs in a build because when you do more packs, it's less reliant heavily on like one pack than it is on like all of them. So like, for example, I've used several expansion packs and I've only used a couple of items from each, or like one I've used a lot of items from and then the rest I've only used like one or two from. And that's, I think, much better than having like a build that's maybe reliant on two packs and you maybe don't have one of those two packs and suddenly you can't even use that build because half the items that were used belong to that one pack. Does that make sense? Is what I'm saying make sense? But yeah, that's just my kind of logic on that. But I am going to be trying to do more limited pack builds if I have the chance to. This house is pretty small. If you can see, it's one bedroom, one bathroom. It doesn't have any offices, doesn't have any skill building rooms. You guys know that I really like making skill building rooms and offices and laundry rooms and all that kind of stuff. But there's really just the entryway, which does have a little nook for laundry, and then there's just the living space in the kitchen. There's not even a separate dining room. There's a dining nook, and that's kind of it. So this fits 2 Sims at most, and it's about 60 to 70k, which is pretty expensive, you know, for such a small house. But once I was going to limit my money, like by the time the thought came to me to limit money, I had already spent $20,000 in one room, which I, for the life of me, do not know how that room was $20,000. I started this house by furnishing this bedroom that you're going to see in a couple minutes, and somehow it ended up being almost 20,000 simoleons, and I don't know how you can even spend 20,000 simoleons on a bedroom. Like, that feels a little bit massive. So I think I'm going to try doing some more budgeting in The Sims 4. I'm going to try doing some more limited pack builds, like actually limited pack builds, starting with maybe, you know, a couple of expansion packs, a couple of game packs, a couple of stuff packs, because right now, as you guys know, I use literally all the packs I have, so it might not be limited to you, but trust me, it's limited to me. So yeah, so the inspo picture that I was looking at had this really cool blocking where they had the one bed on a platform. Of course, they didn't actually have like a bed frame. Theirs was just on the floor type of bed, like the mattress was on the floor. You can do that in The Sims, and I was trying to do it because I've seen videos where people like make beds that lie on the floor by messing around with the platforms. I couldn't figure out how to do it, and I was like, never mind, I don't really care that much, and I actually didn't mind the wood frame on this bed. Now, whether this bed is functional is beyond me because obviously it does go right to the edge of the platform. So that's something that's going to need to be looked into if you guys decide to use this house, but you could always just extend the house one more to the left and that would fix all your problems, because then you can add another space for walking up to the platform and then walking into the bed. I do, once again, another built-in desk using some shelving units. This one's a lot more stark. I think the first one I did was very, I don't know, actually. I felt like that was more geared towards like a teenager. This is just a very generic looking office type nook. I end up using these really light shelves to make the office nook, and I add a mirror behind it, so it has like a mirrored backsplash within the desk, which I thought looked pretty cool, which is pretty accurate to the photo I was looking at was doing as well, because I was looking at inspiration, this one inspo picture when I was making this build. So basically when you're making built-in desks, you need to put the table, like you do what you normally do, but then you size down the table and just move it onto the shelf. Shelves don't usually interfere with like your Sims, especially if they're sized up like this, because the game doesn't know, like it doesn't take into the account that it's like sized up. So you should be fine using this. I didn't actually play test this yet. I'll write it in the description probably if it's been play tested and what does and doesn't work. Or I'll write it on the gallery, because I already complained about how suckish the gallery is on the gallery itself. Here's the mirror backsplash that you see. I'm also gonna add this weird thing from the patio stuff pack. This is the thing, like you can just do so many cool things. Originally I was trying to use Batu and I was like, no, I'm limiting my packs. I'm like, no one has Batu, and then I ended up using a different stuff pack that people probably don't have anyways, which is the patio stuff pack to get this specific iron piece. And then I was like, okay, maybe we can do Get Famous. People probably have Get Famous. And I was like, no, I'm gonna use the patio stuff pack. So yeah, so I just kind of add like an interesting little feature, kind of melds with the whole black and gray and the neutral tones of the house. So yeah, and then, you know, as always, just adding a bunch of clutter using the regular cheats, the 9 to raise, the alt placing by holding alt, obviously, having testing cheats true on, I don't think I used any debug. I did use one no I didn't, I'm lying, never mind. I was gonna say I did use bb.moveobjects, but no I didn't. So the only cheats you need are the move objects cheat, and that should be it. I think my game automatically has the ignore gameplay unlocks cheat open, so you might need that to use this build. But you can always just Google it. It's a really long cheat. It's bb.ignore gameplay unlocks, plural, entitlement, and then space on. That's the cheat. It's very big. And then I think, I really don't know what's so expensive, because when you look at this room, it doesn't look that expensive. But I guess it's really just all the clutter that adds up. And I did use an expensive computer. But I look at this room and I'm like, it really shouldn't be almost 20,000 simoleons. So I have no idea what led up to that massive cost. And now we're working onto the kitchen, also using black as an accent color with the counters. The backsplash is actually white, but there is one sort of like architectural feature type thing to the left that's black. But it's not like the whole entire kitchen is black or anything. It's just the counters are black. I also do something really cool with the island. I don't know if I recorded it, so I guess we'll see in a minute about that. I also didn't use any cabinets this time. I ended up doing open shelving, which is, you know, really trendy right now. I feel like having open shelving in a kitchen would be super inconvenient. Actually, my kitchen, my mom especially got open. So we have cabinets, but she also added in like shelving units just because she really liked how they looked, and I think they're a pain. Luckily ours look really organized because it's just full of spices and it's all in a nice neat rack, but I feel like you could definitely go very wrong, especially if you don't have any cabinets and you only have shelving, which some kitchens really do just have only shelving, which I guess maybe helps you with like a minimalist lifestyle, because then you have less space to put your stuff and you can't like hide your stuff so you kind of have to put it neatly and be mindful about what you buy. So in that way, I think open shelving probably is pretty useful, but otherwise I think it's very inconvenient. You know, I would not be happy having open shelving in my kitchen, especially if it was only open shelving. Here to the left, you see that I'm adding sort of like a dining nook using ottomans on one side. Obviously, the Sims will not eat and use the table, but they will eat on the ottoman if they can reach it. I'm not sure, but if they can reach it, they should. I don't know why Siri thought I'm talking to her. She just started dinging. Anyways, so that's the island that I made, as you can see on the left. So it sort of looks like it has a floating island type thing going on. Which I ended up doing with shelves. I just liked how crafted it looked. It looks like maybe something that got put together, or even maybe like purposefully put together, but it kind of reminded me of like a DIY type thing, but I think it looks super cool. And then here we're getting into the living space, which is why I'm saying this house is pretty small, because it really is just the living spaces and a bedroom. Whereas usually, like I said, you guys have seen my builds, I do massive builds, and then I try to fit as many Sims as possible and make as many like office nooks and study spaces, because I like the idea of actually having separate rooms for each of your Sims to do their work, or at least having one for each type of Sim. So like the parents would have a bed, like an office, and the kids would have an office to themselves, obviously. Yeah. So I really struggled with this for a little bit because I couldn't decide on what like console table to have, and I think I ended up changing this later on. I don't remember to what. And then I did also add a fireplace. The picture that I was looking at, I actually based this off of Mr. Kate's living room, which you guys don't know who Mr. Kate is. She is a interior designer who's also a YouTuber. She does all of her like interior design on YouTube, so they're basically videos where they'll like flip people's houses, or they'll do people's, I think they do people's houses for free. I'm not really sure if they have to, if the people actually pay. I think they just give them stuff. I'm not sure. I'm not certain about that, so don't. But anyway, she does interior design, and so this was sort of based off of her living space. I've been meaning to do her house in The Sims, because her house is like the most adorable little like almost like a little hobbit house type vibes. I just really like it, and so I've been meaning to do it for a while, but I've been so lazy because I want to get it exactly right, you know, because it's just a really good build. And obviously, since she's an interior designer, it looks super amazing inside, like it's very well decorated. So I'm really trying to get that done. I did use platforms in this for the living space as well. Obviously, there's a platform in the bedroom. There's also a living space separation here. The kitchen is raised, which means I had to raise the bathroom, which means I had to raise the porch outside. So there's a platform on top of the foundation, which looks a little bit weird, I'm not gonna lie. You'll see in a few minutes. I don't remember if I recorded doing the back porch or not. I kind of cut through and out a lot. You can kind of see that because you'll see how one thing is like not done and suddenly it's done all of a sudden. That's just because I didn't want to have to actually edit this video and like go and watch the video and like see what I need to cut out and stuff. So I was like, you know what, we're not gonna do that. I will admit that these Snowy Escape shells are maybe a little bit too chonky. They look very chonky, but I didn't realize that until later, and then I didn't feel like re-putting all the clutter back onto it, so I was like, you know what, oh, sorry, it's like 5 a.m. for me. I haven't gone to bed yet. Anyways, I didn't feel like trying to replace all the clutter, because some of the clutter is placed using move objects, and you have to like move the counters forward so they don't slot to the counter. It's just such a pain. I wish there was an easier way to put clutter on things, but there just isn't. I almost wish things didn't slot, because I feel like life would be easier if items didn't slot. Because first of all, the slotting options in The Sims are borderline terrible, if not terrible, and it's just annoying, because if you want to place it on a shelf and it's not slotting to that shelf, then you have to raise it up. But then if you have a cabinet under the shelf, then you have to move the shelf off of it and then put it on, and then put the cabinet back. Or like even with mirrors, you have to take away the wall, because you guys know that the mirrors in The Sims 4, they like raise super high. So I always have to delete the wall put the mirror on and then put the wall back. It's just so annoying. Like, why does it have to slot to a specific height and only that height? Okay, we have a little bit of the exterior. I really like how I do this. So this is going to be a curvy sort of pathway, which is why I'm sort of blocking it out like this. It'll make more sense when you see I actually end up covering it in rocks, so it doesn't look as weird as it does right now. And then I ended up using these really cool rose bushes, which I don't use that often, and sizing them up. I think they look a lot more natural than they mean to, because I think when you see these bushes you usually think they're in like a well-kept fancy house, but they do work on like a regular house like this as well. I did end up using, I think, Snowy Escape as some of the... I think Snowy Escape for some of the landscaping. I don't think there's that many packs in the landscaping. It's just the actual house that has a lot of packs. I really did just use base game and Snowy Escape for this like landscaping section, but I really like the trees in Snowy Escape. I think they have really, really good plants, both like the indoor plants and outdoor plants. Because come on guys, look at this Japanese tree. It's just so pretty. Anyways, I ended up doing this weird thing with grass. So this was a part of the inspiration picture I was looking at. This house exterior is pretty similar to the picture that I was looking at, so it's not really my own creation, I guess. I sort of copied the exterior. The inside is sort of a mesh of all these different type of pictures, so I feel like that's more inclined to be mine than the way this exterior looks. The backyard obviously is mine, but the front is a little bit more based off the inspo picture. Sorry. And so as you can see, I did outline the pathway with rocks so it no longer looks weird and jaggedy. And then here's the back porch. I had a hard time doing this back porch. I think I've said that already, but because there's no kids, I didn't know what to put in the back porch, because like usually when I make back porches and I make backyards, I'm putting like kids toys and jungle gyms and monkey bars, but this is a family for 2 Sims at most. So I was like, okay, what do adults do in their backyard? They mow it. That's all they do, is they mow their backyard. Like, what's the point? I don't understand. So I didn't know what to put in the backyard, so I said put some gardening pots, and then I added the grill and like a seating area on the porch, and then outside I think I just add a seating area again, and on the front I end up adding a swing set. Why adults would need a swing set, who knows? Maybe they like swinging, you know. Maybe the family that owned this house had a kid somewhere sleeping maybe on the couch or something. I don't know. I have no idea. Anyways, we've reached the end of the build. I hope you guys like it. Let me know if you guys like the room builds I've been doing in like the super quick videos. I think they might be a little bit quick, but I need them to be less than 60 seconds for TikTok. So yeah. Anyways, I really hope you guys like this build and this video. As always, if you do, please give it a big thumbs up. If you like me, hit that subscribe button. And if you really like me and want to be notified every single time I post a video, go ahead and hit that bell button. You guys are having a great day, and I will see you next time.